Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troller. 1972 to 1975.
Game 9, Braves at Portland.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1972-75 Carryover League, another opening day. We dive into, well, the Pacific Northwest expansion team Portland, who won this expansion division a year ago, finishing better than Colorado, Arizona, and Las Vegas. They will take on National League East champion Atlanta. Atlanta and Portland, a best of 5. Atlanta, last year, man, they had a monster offense. They won the East, but then they got upset. They finally got past the New York Mets to win that division. But now you've got the Phillies to worry about, and the Phillies upset them as a wild card in the playoffs. The Braves aren't quite as tough as they were a year ago, but don't tell them that because, Hank Aaron goes from 47 home runs to 40. And Ralph Garr goes from a 325 average to 353. So they think they're better. And maybe the World Series window is closing down on the Braves. I don't know. I mean, the Braves did nothing in the 70s because they were in the National League West with the Dodgers and the Reds. And now they're by themselves in the East. And so who knows what the Braves can do. Meanwhile, Portland is year in and year out. You never know what you're going to get from these expansion teams. They have a nice, interesting collection of players. They can be considered the favorite from the Mountain Time Zone until a new team is crowned. So that's the backdrop here in Portland. Atlanta will send Phil Niekro out there. 74 Niekro, 20-13. A 2.38 ERA. Pretty sparkling there for old Phil. 302 innings. And your Portland squad sends its ace, Nelson Briles. Nelson got out of Pittsburgh because they had too many right-handers. With a 14-13 record and a 2.84 ERA in 1973 on 3 days rest. It is Atlanta at Portland. Let's jump right into this opening day. Kurt Russell is here, and Bing Russell, his father's here as well. The Portland Mavericks baseball team are in attendance. Leading off for Atlanta is Ralph Garr. 2.9 grounds a second. Dusty Baker, 2.5, triple, 1 and 3 double, 2-base hit. Darrell Evans, 3.11, rolls to first. We got a runner at third with 2 outs for Hank Aaron, who flies to left field. Rich Coggins leads off at Portland, a 3.19 hitter. 1.5 grounds a second. New second baseman Gary Sutherland, who used to be in the league in 1970, I believe. Then he got sent down to the minors. Took him a while to get back. He's back with a 75 card, and he's hit by the pitch in this case. Runner at first for Bernie Carbo. 66, single on a 6. Rolls a 7. That shows you how tough Niekro is. Single chance on 6-6. And Bob Montgomery, 2.5's a strikeout. Top of 2, Frank Tepedino, another 3-4 hitter, 6-6, base hit. Both pitchers have the same template. Browse has an automatic single on 6-6. Niekro is single on a 6 chance. Shows you that Phil Niekro is a little bit better there. Davey Johnson, 2.7's a K. Rico Suave lines a second. And with 2 outs, it's Johnny Oates. Rolls to second base. Ron Blomberg, fresh off a stint with the Yankees. Catcher's X. Oates a 3-4. Makes the play. Hall of Famer Frank Robinson. He gets a standing O here in Portland. 56, double 1-4. Brought in to put fannies in the seats. He's like 37 years old here. Base hit for Frank. First baseman Tommy McCraw. 5'10" is catcher's X. You have a 3-4 Oates again. Makes the play. It's a wild pitch. You got a runner in scoring position. For Art Howe, making his big league debut. 210 for Art Howe. A 243 hitter with plenty of hits on his card. Go figure. That is single ... That'll score the first run of the game. Number 9 hitter and shortstop Dave Ursillo flies to left. Top of the third, it'll be Marty Perez. Mostly suited to play second. Is forced to play shortstop while Davey Johnson's on the roster. 55 is a base hit for Marty. Back up top to Ralph Garr. 2-5 is a 4-6-3 double play. Wow. And Dusty Baker. 6'10", center X. But center field is not very kind to Portland. They have Coggins, a 4E5 in center field. But he catches the ball. Their outfield defense is pretty poor, really. Frank Robinson, as you can imagine, is a 4 with a +3 arm E9 in left. Carbo's good, 3 - 4 E7. The only other outfielder is on the bench. Angel Mangual brings a 4 E12 defense out there. So that could really hurt this Portland team. Terrible outfield defense, I would say. Speaking of that, here is Rich Coggins. 58. Flies to right. Gary Sutherland, 2-7. Pops to first. And Bernie Carbo, 1-7. Ball 4. Man at first, 2 outs for Robert Montgomery. 39. Single on a 5. Cannot convert. We go to the 4th. Darrell Evans, 310, center. Hank Aaron, 1-5, flies to center. And Frank Tepedino, 210, rolls to the pitcher. Nellie Browse, 4 scoreless. Bottom half, Ron Blomborg, 1-3, rolls to third. Frank Robinson, 56, is double on a 4, base hit for Frank. 12 runner, good base runner, not a base stealer, of course. Frank, by the way, at 266 with 30 home runs with this card. Tommy McCraw, 1-6. Let's take a look at a card. I haven't seen one. Haven't really got a big hit till now. 1-6, Tommy McCraw. Really struggled with a bat in the late 60s, early 70s. And then I guess he's like 31, 32 maybe, and it's 1974, and the dude hits 294 with this card. Heck of a card. First base and left fielder. No problems with left-handed or right-handed pitching. 1-6, a clean double to center field. And Frank Robinson will not take on Dusty Baker's arm. So you have second and third, 1 out. They're going to bring the infield up for the RBI machine, Art Howe. He has driven in the only run of the game to this point. 46 is ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Dave Ursillo. A lot of ground ball B's on the card, so they're going to bring the infield up, anticipating one of those. 38. No, it's just the opposite, actually. It is short A plus with the infield up, turns into a 2-run single. Terrible break for Atlanta, and Portland takes a 3-0 lead with runners on the corners and 1 out. Infield comes up for Rich Coggins. 410, pops to second. And Gary Sutherland, 37, skies to center field. 3-zip in the 5th. We have Davey Johnson, 35, is hit by the pitch. Rico Suave, 4-4, pops to short. Johnny Oates, 36. Let's take a look at Johnny Oates' card. He was an Oriole, actually, in 72. He got traded. We traded him to these Braves, and to get Earl Williams in Baltimore, and to get Davey Johnson here. 36 is homer, 1-6, double the rest for the 261 batter. That'll be double the rest, and down 3 runs, Davey Johnson will hold a third. Couple of birds on the bases for the Braves, and it'll be Marty Perez. 1-9 for Perez. Triple 1-3 is a triple. He gets it. Marty Perez had 2 triples in 1975, and you saw one of them. He winds up at third base as the tie run. A 2-run triple, 3-2 game. They're going to bring the infield up here for Ralph Garr. 65, center, but it's too shallow. Center C. And with 2 outs, it's Dusty Baker. 66, single on a 6 against Briles against a righty. He gets it in there on a roll of a 2. Tough break for Nellie Briles, but it was over the infielder's head for a base hit. This game's tied at 3. Darrell Evans, 68, pops to second base. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, bottom of the 5th. It's Bernie Carbonated, 33, short. Robert Montgomery, 53, right X. Bad defense for the Braves in the outfield as well. Well, Aaron's a 3 in left. You do have Dusty Baker 2 in center, which is nice. But you got Ralph Garr in right field. He is known as a hitter, not a fielder. 49 for Ralph. But he makes the grab. Big play there. And Ron Blomborg, 110, base hit. Frank Robinson, 68, is a fly to left field. Another good opening day classic. We've had a few of these. Top of the 6th, it's Hank Aaron. 110 rolls short. Tepedino, 2-5, K. Davy Johnson, 37 is a strikeout. Negro's a starter 8, Nellie Briles, a starter 7. Bottom of the 6th. Tommy McCraw, 65, center. Art Ho, 2-4, short. Dave Russillo had the big lucky 2-run single on a drawn up infield. 55, triple 1-2, and he gets a triple on a 1-2. He's at third base. Having a nice day here. 2 for 3 for Dave. With 2 outs, it's Rich Coggins. 58 is a fly ball to right field. Well, looks like Portland has sent 4 more players to the plate in this game. That is tied as we go to the top of the 7th. And it's Rico Suave. 2-4 short. A Rico Cardi, if you're wondering. Johnny Oates, 4-11, right X. Out in right field, it's Carbo, a 3-7 and right, makes the grab. Marty Perez, 1-8. This is Homer 1-6, fly ball to rest, and he just misses one of his 2 home runs. Flies out. It is stretch time. 7th inning stretch time here in Portland, Oregon. You got Kurt Russell, Bing Russell, and all the Portland Mavericks are here. And we're enjoying Beauregard. He is, of course, a Portland Razzler of the era, as with a little bit of a Gorman Thomas look about him. He put out this funky blues thing simply called Beauregard in 1973. That guitar player you're hearing is none other than Greg Sage of the Wipers when he's just a teenager, believe it or not. Then he goes on to the late 70s, early 80s to form the Wipers, and there you go. Cool little story. Back to the game in the City of Roses. Bottom of the 7th, Negro's a starter 8. It'll be Gary Sutherland. 38, base hit for Gary. Bernie Carbo, 410, pops a second. Robert Montgomery, 57's a K, and with 2 outs, it's Ron Blomborg. 1-7 is double 1, single dot dot. You've got runners on the corners with 2 outs, and you got Frank Robinson brought in to sell tickets here. Frank had a nice Cincinnati, Baltimore. We got him on a Cleveland for a year. They made the playoffs. He went to Portland. He made the playoffs a year ago. Let's take a look at the card before he swings. This is actually a California Angel card of 1973, but he was more needed here than in California. Here's the pitch to Frank Robinson. 37 is a strikeout. All right. We go to the 8th inning. Nellie Bryles continues. It's Ralph Garr. 2-2 rolls to the pitcher. Quiet day for him. Johnny B. Baker. 1-4 flies to left. And Darrell Evans, 63. Pitcher X. Nellie Bryles, E6 pitcher. That's pretty good. He makes the play. Nellie Bryles has gone 8, giving up just the 3 runs. Bottom of the 8th, bottom of the lineup. It's Tommy McCraw, 1 for 3 with an RBI, with a run-scoring double. 48 second X. This is Davy Johnson's a 3, but he's an E34. He left his glove in Baltimore and he brought his big booming home run bat here. That's going to be a base hit off his defense. Number 8 hitter Art Howe. 1 for 2 plus a walk. 1-4 center. Dave Rossello, 58. Short X. 4E21 Marty Perez. That's a base hit, Dot. Runners in the corners. You're about to break Negro. They're going to bring the infield up for Rich Coggins, unless you want to go to the pen. Now you got some nice lefties here. They're going to go to the pen with 2 out of 3 lefties coming up. So we're going to call it a day for lefty, for Negro. I almost got him lefty there. 7 1/3 innings. He's responsible for the 2 runners and a 3-3 tie. We're going to go to Mike Beard, the bearded one. Mike Beard will come on in the 8th inning, trying to keep this game tied. And he'll face Rich Coggins. Not particularly good against lefties, but he isn't that bad, really. And they're going to go to a pinch hitter, Angel Mangual. So the platoon center fielder, Angel Mangual, will bat for Coggins. The infield comes up with 1 out. Angel Mangual's the batter. Here's the pitch. 68 off Beard's a liner to second. No sac fly or anything. And with 2 outs, it's Gary Sutherland. 35, but Gary Sutherland's got the big hit. Let's take a look at the Gary Sutherland card. What a fine card this is. In 75 was a Tiger. Tigers still have Dick McCall left, so they didn't use him. 258 average and 548 plate appearances for Gary Sutherland. He missed a few years, comes back and delivers a big hit here. That's a single dot. We got a 4-3 game. Runner still in the corners, and Carbo will swing away. 65 off Beard, skies to center field. We got a 4-3 game going to the 9th. Do we leave our friend Nellie Bryles in there? Oh, their bench is awful. Bryles will go to Hank Aaron, then we'll go to a lefty. So he'll pitch to Hank Aaron here in a 4-3 game. Hank really needs a game-tying homer if he can get it. 2-2 hits the column, hits the column roll, misses the result. 2-2 is a fly ball to left field. And listen to this, they're going to take out old Nellie Bryles after 8 1/3 innings. Listen to this ovation, folks. From Portland with a 4-3 lead. They're going to go to Ray Sadecki, a lefty they really do like here. He was 8-8 with a 3.41 ERA in 103 innings for the Mets in 74. And he belongs to Portland now. In the 9th inning, needs to get a couple outs. Ray Bear is warming as well. Frank Tepedino, this will get him out of the game. And now you have the unfortunate situation of a pinch hitter. And they're pretty bad. They're going to go to Mike Andrews. Former Red Sox, White Sox. Mike Andrews is going to pinch hit here. Here's the pitch. Well, let's put here MA here, so you know who he's pitching to. 1-5 for Mike Andrews is a sky to center field. Tepedino's got the 5-10 card, except he doesn't have any hits at all against lefties, so that's disappointing to say the least. 2 outs in the 9th inning. And it comes down to the dangerous Davy Johnson. Similar amount of homers, lefty-righty. And the question you have to ask, are there any lefties that you want Sadecki to pitch to in this situation? Well, yeah, Ralph Garr. But if Ralph Garr's batting, you're probably losing. Yeah, you're probably losing by that point. So they're going to call for the righty to close it out. This is Ray Bear. Let's take a look at Ray Bear. He, of course, tantalizes statistically. In 72, the man has a 0.53 earned run average, which would qualify him as the all-time Strat-O-Matic ERA leader in this timeline I used from 1969 to 1984. No pitcher had an ERA lower than that. Goose Gossage was 0.77. The whip is nothing spectacular. He gives up a lot of singles and walks, but no extra base hits. Ray Bear needs to get the final out of this game, and he will have to deal with the dangerous Davy Johnson. 2 outs, nobody on. Homer or a walk for Davy is what we need here. And here's the pitch. 57 is a sky to left field. High can of corn, and that is your ball game. And break up your Portland Rosebuds. They beat the Big Bad Atlanta Braves at home on opening day by a score of 4-3. Nellie Briles gets the win. Ray Bear gets the save. Negro takes the loss, allowing a couple batters to reach in the 8th. And then Mike Beard cannot keep those runners on the bases. So, unfortunate loss for Phil Negro. 4-3 is the final for Portland. This is a best of 5. We'll give you the results of this series at the end of the video, so stay tuned, folks. Thank you. Well, baseball fans, we got some stuff to show you here. This is the box score from Game 1 that you saw. Nellie Briles does defeat Phil Negro. Briles 8 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs. Got the final out, Ray Bear with a save. Negro 7 1/3, 11 hits, 4 runs. Tough game, you know, for the Braves to lose on the road, but they're the Braves. Will they rebound in a Game 2? Let's check it out here from Portland. Game 2. It is Buzz Capra, a rather interesting starter who can pitch on 3 days rest as a right-hander. No hits on his cards against right-handed batters, which is almost unheard of. I think even 84 Doc Gooden had like single one line out the rest on the card somewhere. So Capra's 74 is one of the most unsung performances, at least versus right-handed batters. Well, this game, Portland, they get an RBI single by Tommy McCraw in the 4th for a 1-0 lead. Then the Portland Rosebuds load the bases, single walk, single. Then Bernie Carbo, the dreaded bases loaded walk, a sac fly Ron Bloomberg, and then a 2-out single Frank Robinson. 4-zip. Then in the 6th inning, Art Howe, right-handed batter, singles. Rich Coggins single, and then a Bernie Carbo 2-run double. Runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. That's 6 runs off of Mr. Capra. And all Atlanta could do, by the way, besides not pitching well, they're not hitting well either. Bobby Floyd, their shortstop, got a single and scored on a Dusty Baker single. That's the only run they got. 6-1 Portland, even more impressive than Game 1. The starter, the lefty starter for Portland, Rob Gardner. Who? Rob Gardner, yeah. I mean, Portland gets a lot of these extra player dudes that you haven't heard from because they have no farm system otherwise. 7 innings, 8 hits, just that run, 3 walks, 4 Ks. And Buzz Capra just didn't have it today. Gave up 10 hits and 6 runs in 7 innings. So now Atlanta has to come home and right their ship in Fulton County, Georgia. Little Feat is doing a concert in the parking lot before the big home opener. And it doesn't go well. It's Ray Corbin for Portland and George Stone for Hotlanta. After 2 outs in the 1st, an Angel Mangual single and a Bob Montgomery 2-run blast. Okay, 2-0. But sooner or later, Atlanta's going to put 8, 10, 11 runs on the board. It's not happening today. In the 3rd inning, they get a 2-out single by Darrell Evans to cut the lead to 2-1. 4th inning, Portland comes right back. Single double, RBI ground out Frank Robinson, 3-1. Another run in the 5th. They score the run on the dreaded bases loaded double play. Then a solo homer by Frank Robinson in the 6th. This thing's starting to get away already. It's 5-1. They would chase George Stone in the 7th. A couple singles, couple outs. Bob Miller comes in with 2 outs. This big old can of kerosene. Gives up 3 hits. This thing's 7-2. 9th inning, the Braves get a charity run, a walk, an error, and an RBI double by Hank Aaron. Folks, Portland sweeps Hotlanta. 4-3, 6-1, and 7-3 are your scores. I would not have predicted this at all. And an early funk for Atlanta, which is good news for the Mets and Phillies in that division. And yeah, Portland, they made the playoffs a year ago, but year to year, the expansion division is very unpredictable. Looking at the roster, I don't think Portland's better than they were a year ago. But there you go, folks. That's all it takes. Some magic by the Portland Rosebuds and Beauregard. He flew in for the game. And the Portland Rosebuds sweep the Hotlanta Braves 3-0. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.